Welcome to the 30-day progress video of what it takes to start a business from absolutely nothing and seeing exactly how far you can get in 30 days. Throughout this journey, I have met a lot of upsides and downsides and downfalls, and I went through a lot of different emotions and trial and error, so many different things you can't even begin to imagine. It's not clean cut. All those people out there that are online trying to tell you exactly what to do, and if you follow my guide, you'll get exactly where you want to go. I'm not saying it's wrong, but depending on what you want to do, everybody's path is going to be different. And ultimately, that's something that you need to understand going into it. And that's just a little bit about what I learned throughout this journey. So if you stay tuned, watch this whole video. I understand it's long and I apologize for that, but I promise you will see a lot of improvements, not really knowing what I'm doing, still struggling to understand what I'm doing, but I am a hell of a lot better off than I was 30 days ago. So if you're watching this, please stay tuned for all of it. If you're not going to watch all of it, I understand. Feel free to skip through until the very end if you want to. But at the very least, if you could help me out in my journey, like the video, subscribe to my channel, and stay tuned for more, because I promise you, you won't want to miss what's coming next. Get to the clips. All right, so here is day one to the 30-day work challenge that I've set for myself. My goal is to work between 10 and 16 hours every day for the next 30 days. And I really think that I'm going to be able to make some progress. I'm not going to do this traditionally. I'll do a lot of other videos. It's going to be a lot of clips that are just put back to back that show snippets. Something that I really need to start working on is getting a to-do list set up so that I know exactly what I'm going to be doing day to day. But as of right now, the first thing that I'm going to be focusing on is creating a website. So I have filed for my LLC as of yesterday. The name is going to be HIAS, H-A-I-A-S, stands for Holloway's Artificial Intelligence Advanced Solutions. And I thought that the first thing that I should probably get going is some sort of website so I can link it to the social media that I've been doing and whatnot. A little bit of an update for what's going on is that I have a developer that is working very closely with me. He is my partner in this, but he's currently working on agents for me. We are in Notion here. He has got a content generator. It doesn't post for us, but we feel like it's probably best to have it to where it auto-generates the posts and then it is verified by humans. For example, a dead giveaway for an AI agent to be creating a post is stuff like these stars and all the emoji uses and whatnot. Also, percentages are a big one. Sometimes it can come off as skeptical, I guess. If a little bit about human psychology is when you see in marketing, if you see increments of 10, 20, 30, 40 with ended at a zero, it doesn't tend to look as believable. People tend to be a little more skeptical. So with these numbers, I'm going to have to change them just a little bit. These ones maybe not have a 71 and 21 back to back like that. And I've already used this one. I'm checking them off as I use them. Actually, I used this one again today. But that's kind of just what it's doing. This is for LinkedIn, and then I'm repurposing them for Twitter as well, or X, I guess it is now. So I'm working on a little bit. I've got 1 hour of, this is my morning to-do list. I got 10 minutes of stretching, 10 minutes of workout, 10 minutes of reading, and then 1 hour of social media engagement. And that typically I don't need to do 1 full hour. That's just to give a little bit of a buffer time for if I do have more engagement than usual. But that's kind of the plan. I typically just review the posts, make them, respond to any comments that I may have, and then move on and keep on going. But I really need to get a step-by-step process going. Something that I've got here is a task that I learned from Alex Ramosi, to have it in 15 to 20 minute increments as a timer to go off. And then every time that timer goes off, write what you did for that. And then every week you go through and decide where have you allocated most of your time, what have you done, what kind of time wasting have you done, such as if I sit down and scroll through social media for an hour, whatever the case may be. Hopefully it's not an hour, but that's kind of just what's going on. I need to figure out a routine, get my rhythm in. I'm still very new to this. I guess realistically I don't quite know what I'm doing yet, but That's part of this whole process. So I know a lot of my other past videos have been about pretty much what I've learned, and I haven't made a whole lot of those very much anymore. But I just want to say that I have been learning quite a bit, just because I haven't been making progress videos of stuff I've been learning. I've still been actively in front of the computer nearly every day, not as much as I'd like to, but as I create these clips, I'm sort of going to talk about some things that I'm doing that I find really cool that are going to be constructive, and tools that I'm using to build this company. I'm using AI ChatGPT to help me create a lot of this stuff because, again, like I said, I'm kind of in over my head. I don't have a whole lot of web design. Actually, I don't have any experience in coding, web design, or any of this back-end stuff. And now, something that's cool about what we're seeing here is when you have an account with ChatGPT, you can actually go in and create instructions. So this is the normal premium version, not the pro version. But so, for example, right here, project files, this is my business plan that I've created. So I uploaded that file so it has a little bit of a picture of what it's working with. The instructions are going to essentially be creating a persona for it, how I want it to respond. And before I get into this, so I have my company, my project over here. I've got the highest folder, and then I've got different chats where the instructions are just a little bit different so it can be an expert in that field. So instead of it being an expert overall with just highest in general, I know there's different departments that are going to be within a company. And so I think it would be beneficial if I had it, instead of having it being an all-around focused one, if there was different chats that were specialized for each one. So for example, I need help with web designing. What I did was I went to my just chatting and I asked it, I said, can you create me a prompt for an LLM that is an expert in web design? I need to create a website for my new company, Highest. And it gave me all of this stuff, again, to try to keep this video as reasonable as possible. I know it's going to be pretty lengthy. So I just copied that. I'm going to go to Highest. I've got my file uploaded. I'm going to go to instructions, and I'm going to delete this previous role because we don't want it to do that. We want it to be a web designer professional. Copied and pasted exactly what it said. Yes, that was accurate. So I'm just going to save this now, and I will come back with the product. All right, so AI helped me create a pretty good template when it comes to figuring out this website. And as I build out the pages, I'm just going to come in here and I'm going to talk about what I've got done. So here's the about page. Pause it if you want to read it. Okay, so what we've learned so far is that we're just going to scrap the website idea for right now. I don't have enough information to really be putting this together. That's kind of just how this whole process is going to go. I'm going to try something and get through it and realize that it's just not worth my time. So I'm going to have to make a decision and move on. What I really just need to do is start creating products, get some agents in there, start working on maybe some marketing and advertising, and get that out there. I know a website will be important at some point, but I don't have any reviews. I don't have any products. I don't have any pricing. I don't really have a whole lot of that right now. And so it's just going to feel like I'm wasting my time right now. My time could be better spent elsewhere instead of spending all day or even the whole weekend designing a website that is effectively going to be useless until I have something to actually put on there. So we're going to scrap this and come back to it on a later day. Anyways, my partner has an issue right now where he's not able to access the ChatGPT or use API keys or our group team account. So currently trying to debug that and see if we can troubleshoot it and get him back in there. So all right, I've showered, I've worked out a little bit, and now I've got some schoolwork that I need to go tackle. So I'm going to be putting a little bit of this AI training on pause now. I'll be back a little bit later, maybe tomorrow. I've got quite a bit of homework to work into, so we'll see. All right, man, so something cool here. We're back. I started working with Apollo and Amplify to try and get some leads together. I think the first part of understanding how to do a lead generator is to learn how to actually get the leads first before I even try to create some sort of agent for that. But I'm not going to get too much into it because I don't want to build an hour-long or 30-minute-long tutorial on this. But essentially, I pulled all the leads from Amplify, transitioned it over to Apollo, or maybe it's the other way around. So I pulled everything from Apollo and then linked it up to Amplify, which generated this nifty list here, which I then exported into a Google Sheets. cleaned it up a little bit, and now I have a bunch of leads to reach out to. Don't know how quality any of these are going to be. I guess the quality probably depends on how much effort I put into cold outreach for that one. But I've just got the city. I tried to focus mostly in Indiana. I didn't want to overwhelm myself with 4,000 plus leads, but it can pull a massive amount. I got the organization name, their position at the company. I think I'm going to try to focus on mostly owners and directors and partners. Their name, their position, their email, organizational LinkedIn, names again, Facebook, so phone numbers. So this is a lot of good information to work with. Still trying to figure out exactly how I'm going to use all of it, but I decided to go with real estate to start out with. So that's all of these should be pertaining to real estate in some aspect, hopefully, if it pulled the correct information. So, all right, that's just a nice little update. Okay, so a few things actually happened yesterday. We're going to see a break in it. Last recording was from the March 3rd. This is the 5th. You can see that down here. I am making this to recap what happened yesterday, and I'm doing it early in the morning so you guys don't sit here and think like, oh wow, he just, he spent 2 days doing all this. No, I did quite a bit of work yesterday, on top of which I had an appointment from 8 a.m. until 12:30, and then when I got back home, I was in a seminar for a worldwide AI governance, basically just going over the legalities and stuff like that. So that was pretty insightful. I got some good notes from that. But anyways, from about 1:32ish after lunch, I was working on this until almost 10 o'clock last night, and so I got those leads that I showed you guys last time. I cleaned up this data, made it for stuff that would only be pertaining. Now, I started doing a lot of research, and I don't know if I said this in the last video, but come to find out, you are not allowed to take somebody's address, go to truepeoplefinder.com and automate searches to have 2,000 plus addresses searched with their personal information. I wasn't sure if that was allowed. You can legally do it manually, but you can't have something like that automated to scrape data, which when I think about it, I guess that kind of makes sense. Oh well, it is what it is. Anyways, I was like, okay, well, how can I get some data, or how can I get these leads then to where we can directly contact them? And I was like, okay, I get mail all the time from unsolicited people, which means that it's legal. Like, you can send people mail like that. So I was like, okay, well, how can I mass send out a bunch of mail? Obviously, I wouldn't want to send out all 2,000 at once because it was going to cost money per mail. But let's just see what's out there. So I found this called DocuPost, and essentially for 95 cents, you can send one postcard. I'm not going to open the postcard because it has a QR code, and I don't want any of you guys out there to get an idea to start scanning the postcard, because if I do end up using this exact thing, my mom is actually going to be the one who's using this. A little bit of background with this: she works with a window installation company. She's the office manager, and one of the things they struggle with is getting leads, especially during the cold months like this, because nobody wants to put windows in their house in the middle of winter, because you got to rip it out, and it's just, yeah, nobody wants to do that. So I figured, I was like, okay, well, let's get leads and have it mailed out, postcards with an offer letter they're doing like $125 off every window. And then we've got a QR code that, like, hey, if you're interested in this, for an example, let's say every week they wanted to mail out 100 a week. So 20 a day, Monday through Friday, 20 every day. What I'm going to do is I'm going to automate an agent to have access to this qualified lead sheet, which was scraped. It was scraped from Zillow, but I used Apify to do the actual scraping itself. So Apify pulled all this data for me. When it mails something out, when the agent mails something out, it will take, let's say we're doing 20, and it will cut that 20 and it will transfer it to this. This will be the contacted sheet, first contact. So that means that they got mailed sent to them. Now, when they decide to, if they look at that and they think, oh yeah, I would really like to get a window, I'm interested, they will scan a QR code that is going to be on this postcard, put in their information, and it will be their first name, last name, phone number, street address, city, state, and zip code. Ignore this, Texas. My brother was helping me do all of this, and that's kind of how we got everything figured out in one day. But anyway, so I sent out some test subjects for these postcards. One's going to go to me, one's going to go to my brother in Texas, and one's going to go to the company itself. The company's name is Mr. Window. So that's basically the way it's going to work. Whenever they put their information in, this will be the qualified leads sheet. And from here, we will connect. What I'm going to be working on today with my brother when he wakes up is we are going to be creating an AI chatbot that has access to this qualified lead sheet. Whenever a new row gets entered in, this AI agent or this chatbot is going to be able to recognize that and reach out to them using their phone number with their personal identifying information that they entered in. That is going to initiate the conversation. From there, we will set it to where the agent or the chatbot will be able to determine, is this a qualified lead? Are they actually interested? Do they want to set up an actual appointment? If they want to schedule an actual appointment, a separate list will be created that will be for creating an appointment. Maybe I can link up a calendar to it for Mr. Window for my mom to use. And that is going to be a way to filter out. The way that I see this is I have 2,000 leads, almost 2,100 leads to work with right here. I feel like it's reasonable that maybe 1% will get back. And even at 1%, that's 20 leads, which is pretty freaking good in my opinion. I feel like, because if they're selling jobs that are going to be like $10,000 each, I mean, they got 20 of those, that's good money right there. That's just some spitball, but I'm focusing on creating the agent today so that when somebody new gets entered in here, a chatbot will reach out to them to initiate the conversation to get some stuff going. So that was a little bit of a longer clip. I wanted to explain everything. When I get the chatbot finalized, probably later this evening, I will make another quick video just showing that it is up and working. All right, so we are back here. This is the next clip for you guys, but it's actually been a few days for me. I didn't get clips of the past couple days. I have actually been sick as shit. You can probably still hear a little bit of it in my voice right now. I tried pushing through yesterday and the day before. I could hardly even think straight. I tried sitting down in front of the computer, and both times I couldn't collect my thoughts. It would have been counterproductive for me to try to work at any point in time when it came to that. So I just made the decision to take care of myself, because at the end of the day, I'm the one running this thing. And I got to take care of myself above anything else. So the only way to move forward is to sometimes take a second. I was involved in some seminars, which was still very productive. It was really good because I ended up, two things happened while we were gone here. Thing number one, I'm pretty sure that I got my first client, actually. Nothing's set in stone. We're going to have to go through testing phase and prototyping and maybe get some sort of definitely get a contract written out later down the line. She's a financial consultant, and she was interested. It's involved in a something called Warrior Rising for disabled veterans, and it's for disabled veterans that want to try to start their own company. There's nobody specific, but while I was doing that chat, I was talking about what I was doing and how AI could help other business owners, and I had a few people reach out to me, and somebody specific was interested in getting some sort of business letter, or not business letter, a newsletter set up. So that was really cool. Currently in the process of working with her, getting some more details finalized. She wants something that could be given out to her clients for free as a way of marketing herself. So it's going to be like a daily, weekly, and monthly newsletter. They're going to opt in themselves when they fill out the form to opt in. It'll be transitioned to an Excel sheet. The Excel sheet will be able to separate them between daily, weekly, or monthly. And it'll be basically an agent will be able to communicate with that Excel sheet and then determine who's on what list. And then that will determine who gets what newsletter each day. And they can opt in to do either just the daily, just the weekly, just the monthly, or they can do a combination of all three of them. So that'll be pretty cool. And I think that'll really help her bring in some more clients and get some more business that way. So that'll be really great. Now, something else that I am working on the side here for my social media engagement is very important. One of the things that is extremely time consuming is the research and the content creation itself. Now, it does need to have a humanized approach to it, which I do go back through and revise everything, but to do the initial research and the content generation part itself for the bulk, like the meat of it, I've got my partner that he has created a content generator. Essentially, it's what it says here. Let me zoom out here. I plan on giving a lot of people access to this to prototype it, and then there will be like a little form down here that they can submit suggestions. It'll be completely free to use because we can't ask people to pay for something that's not ready to use right off the bat. Maybe, so this is a prototype. stage. And then maybe we could like a pre-order in the testing phase once it gets more finalized. And that'll be like a cheaper version of it. Through all the research that I've done, I found out that apparently it's always good to put a price on something for like a pre-order. They can still use it in the testing phase, but if you know $200 and this will be yours, or if you pre-order now for $100, it can be yours once it gets released, but once it gets released, it'll be $200 or something like that. If people are willing to pay for it out the gate in testing phase, that's how you know you're really onto something. So I'm thinking about maybe implementing some of that into the marketing strategy to see if I can get something in here, and it'll be continuously maintained by us. Probably maybe like a one-time payment for continuous update through us, since this is a pretty simple thing, basic maintenance. It really doesn't require that much. But anyways, so a little bit about how this works. Just for right now, we've got different brand voicing here. You can do friendly, casual, formal, or professional. I like sticking with casual personally. And you can, when you click save preference, it will put, essentially this is like creating a persona, but it's already kind of got its own persona integrated for its instructions on the back end of things. But this is more fine tuning, like basically like do's and don'ts. So what I noticed is if you don't put anything in here, it'll like to give a bunch of emojis and a bunch of asterisks, and it'll put, basically there will be key tells that when somebody, if I were to copy and paste it as is what it generates, it'll be a lot of it'll be very obvious that it's AI generated. And so that's something that custom instructions you can put in there, like do this, don't do that, make sure that it is, you know, doing this specifically, tailor it to basically humanize it yourself based off of what you want the design of the content to look like. So I've got here, generate me a newsletter, do not exceed 3,000 characters. I was doing that because LinkedIn posts are 3,000 characters maximum. Do not have emojis, asterisks, or hyphens. Do not use markdown format. That's like basically where it's got like the number sign, the hashtag. It'll put that in there to separate blocks and say like body, paragraph, introduction, stuff like that. So it won't do that. Make sure to break it up into different formats for paragraphs. Before I said that, it was giving it one giant block, and that wasn't, you just don't want that. And then make sure you include accurate names of specific people, places, and things. Before I did that, it was just giving general, like, this is what's going on in AI. It wasn't giving me specifically about what's going on in certain fields. So we will enter your topic here. Tell me about how AI and humanity. All right, I'm going to click generate and then pause this because it'll take a second to generate. Okay, so we're back here. So this is what it came out with. Oh no, what did it do? Well, I guess I can still go down. Cut off the bottom. I promise it doesn't do this. We're still fine-tuning the UI of this. But when I tried to extend the page so that you could read all of it, how I drug this down, that didn't work here. It just cut off the bottom apparently. But yeah, so this is what it gave me. Are you ready to step into a future where AI becomes your greatest ally? This collaboration between humans and AI is not just a concept. It's a revolution where it's here to enhance our potential as a dynamic partnership significantly reshapes and transforms our daily lives. And it goes into a lot of things here. It's really well structured, very well. The economic impact is staggering. Estimates suggest that the value generated by this partnership could reach an incredible $15.7 trillion by 2030 across various sectors, from manufacturing to healthcare. So yeah, it's fantastic. And then I know you can't see it down here at the bottom. You can sort of see the question, but basically if you're trying to get user engagement, you can it'll naturally produce some sort of like additional question and ask you to share thoughts. If you were to go to copy and paste that, you could always eliminate it. Again, I want to reiterate that for anybody who does use this, if this is open to the public by the time this is posted, if I get around to that, you will need to still, like, it requires human touch. You can never just copy and paste stuff. You can, but I'm telling you, like, AI is meant to be a tool. You can't just put something into AI and then post it. All right, it won't. It's very obvious. It's really weird how good AI is, but also us as humans, we can tell when there's not like that human touch to it. So anyways, that's what's going on with this. That's kind of where we're at. We still have a lot of fine tuning, but this is the prototype phase here. I'm going to get some people to get in and engage with it a little bit, get some better fine tuning involved. But that's what I've been up to. I haven't made as much progress because, like I said, I've been sick, and now I've got school that I got to catch up on. So I probably won't record today or tomorrow, but I will be actively working on stuff. I don't want to just make... I made a 10-minute long clip every time. It would be at like a 5-hour long video by the end of the month, and it's only the 9th right now, so I'm not trying to do that to you guys. All right, well, thanks for sticking around. You'll see me again in a few seconds, but it'll be probably a couple days for me. So I know I said it was going to be a few days before I come back and make another clip here. Also, if you can't tell, it's the next day, and I am feeling a lot better than I was yesterday or even the last 2 days before that. Anyways, not the point. It is, I'm coming back on because I forgot to tell you guys something that my brother and I were working on, just strictly messing around with. We thought it'd be fun. Create some sort of virtual setting for a crypto trader, specifically for meme coins, because the market is so volatile, so we thought that would be the most interesting thing to do. So we got ChatGPT to help us create scripting to run a bot for it. And we were just playing around. We loaded 10,000 virtual dollars into the trader, had it monitor the top 10 best performing meme coins, and its buy threshold was set to anytime there was a 1 hour differentiation in price. You know, anytime it hit that average price, it would buy $100 worth. A loss of 2% or a 5%, it would sell. Now, we were losing pretty bad for the first 3 days, probably the first 5 days, to be honest with you. It was hovering between like $8,500 and $9,000, so about $1,500 to $1,000 spent. And then this morning, and I was like, oh wow, I forgot I kept it running because it wasn't performing well at all. I just forgot to shut it down though. This is what I woke up to this morning. But right here, 1,000,001. Oh wait, hold on. $1,100,615 is where it's at right now. So I was curious now what had actually happened. Earlier this morning, it made a trade that I didn't notice, and it was sitting at trade for like $1. And then just like an hour ago, again, and I made another trade for like another $560,000. And so that's why we're sitting where we're at. Anyways, this, like I said, this is all virtual setting. None of it's actually real right now, except the only real factor is that the code is really running, but in a virtual environment. This might be something that I need to look into a little bit more. I had fun doing it with my brothers. I think I'll have even more if we get something working that actually makes us money. So we'll see. That's for a later date. I just thought that'd be fun and cool for you guys to see. All right, so we're about 3 days ahead of the last one. It is March 13th. I am getting close to halfway through my 30 days of working, and I feel like I've almost hit a brick wall in a sense. It's no directions to go down, but I feel like there's so many directions to go down right now that it's kind of getting all mixed up in my head. So I'm really just going to show you guys a little bit about some of the stuff that I found, some of the stuff I've been messing with, some concepts I've been looking at, and then also why we are here on this page. First, I will provide an update for my little crypto trading bot. I have upgraded the UI on it. The user interface looks a lot nicer. Still does the polling data every 30 seconds. Is when it buys stuff. And then this is the available balance, and it shows the price of the stocks that I'm holding, and then it also shows when stuff gets sold at the buy or loss of 5% up or 5% down. So that's what's up with that. The next thing that I've been looking at is I've still been trying to focus on creating a newsletter agent that'll be able to send out essentially a newsletter for free for people that want to follow along with Hyas and be a part of the community. So something that I did with that, I don't know if any of you guys have heard of something called Abacus. But abacus.ai, I started playing around with this, and first off, it is absolutely amazing for what it offers. It's still in the developmental phase of things. It's $10 a month, but the cool thing about it is that you get access to every single top of the line LLM out there. You get some of the subpar ones, you get some of the best ones, you get the new early release ones like ChatGPT 4.5. Oh, sorry if you guys can hear the construction going on in the background. I wish I could tune that out. But anyways, now if $10 a month wasn't already enough to be able to get access to all of these, and their limits are extremely generous, it also has a agent builder called AI Engineer. It's in the beta test phase. If I go to my projects here, go to deployment, and we will go to the dashboard. Abacus AI. I was creating a newsletter agent, and it helped me create all of this. It is still rough, and it's very obvious that their stuff is in beta testing still. It pretty cool. I think that there's going to be a lot of application for something like this. It writes all the code, all the script for you, and then as it gets to mile markers where it needs human and opinions, it'll stop the code. It'll say, hey, where would you like me to proceed with this? It'll tell it what you want it to do, or what you want it to do. And then it'll say, okay, thanks. And continue writing the code in the script till it's got something fully open and available. We've got our agents here. So creates the newsletter here. And then it's connected to my email to send out emails to people on a timed weekly basis. Still not fully operational at the moment. Oh, test agent, that's an option. That was not there yesterday. This action will save. Okay, to connect. So it's having a lot of technical difficulties, that for sure. But regardless, it's still cool. The concept's cool, and I'm pretty sure they'll improve it as they go on. But let's go to the dashboard and see if I can go to over here, weekly newsletter standard UI. I'll just do artificial intelligence, searches the internet for some articles related to it, some news, creates summary of the new summary. The collection of the highlights the growing prominence of artificial intelligence AI across various sectors, including technology, education, finance, and robotics. Key themes include advancements in generative AI, ethical concerns surrounding AI development, and its integration into everyday life. All right, I'm not going to read all of this, but I think that's pretty cool with how that works. All I'm supposed to have to do here is highest.newsletter@gmail.com. Let's see if it fixed itself. I'm going to pause it here so that you guys cannot see my app password. All right, so apparently it types it in that way, which is cool. Emails, let me type those out so you're not watching me type. All right, all the emails are typed out here for where I want to send it to. And I could just, in the future, as people sign up, I can just have AI create a long string of emails for me to just copy and paste so I don't have to keep manually typing them in the future. Let's see if it works. It did not work yesterday, but let's see if it works now. Preparing to send. Nope. Authentication with Gmail. Yeah. But it keeps doing it. I've got to figure out why the authentication isn't working. I'm not quite sure. I've got an app password created for it. It works when I log in manually myself. I don't know why it's not able to log in on its own here. But, oh, hold on. Okay, email was spelled wrong. Let's see if it works this time. Probably not, but we'll see. Yeah, authentication failed. I'm not sure why it's doing that, but I'll have to play with that another time. Anyways, that's one of the things that I've been working on. It seems like I've got the agent already created for the most part. Maybe I need to fine-tune the model a little more so that it gives a better newsletter to send out. But it's getting really close to working, and that's what matters. So it's little by little. I did all of this in like hours yesterday. And there was a lot of troubleshooting, but a lot better than the traditional method. So just got to work with it. And again, it's in beta testing. So that's one thing that I'm working on. Now, the next thing that I'm doing here, why I had this open, is because I have discovered, I've already known about Nick, I think is how you pronounce his name, but I did not know about his school that he had, his school community. And I decided that when you look at what he offers, there offers a 100% guarantee of your first client within 90 days as long as you follow his stuff step by step. And everything that I'm seeing is like once you start getting one client, you know how to keep going and you just get better and better about it until it just keeps expanding. Guaranteed within 90 days, when you look at his classroom, he has up to 6 months worth, so up to 180 days worth of content, a day by day. When you click on this, month 1, every single day 1, day 2, day 3, and there's stuff to do. Follow it day by day. He promises that you will get clients. So that's something I'm just going to slowly work on. It's not all I'm going to be doing because he said, I watched his video. Some days you only need 30 minutes of time. Other days it'll be a couple hours worth of time. But ultimately, it's not going to be like a 12 hours a day learning process following his method, which means I'm still going to have loads of time to still work on other things. And my hope is that what I gain from him, I'll be able to expand on and improve for the rest of the time that I'm not actively in his school page. So I think this is going to be really good. I'm confident that it'll be really good. And if it's not, worst case scenario, like I said, it's a money back guarantee is what he offers. So if you're interested in that, by the time you see this, his price may have gone up. As of right now, it is $66, but here is a copy and paste. I will put it right here. Ignore the day 1. That is the URL. So if you wouldn't mind using that as an affiliate link, if you're interested in going to him, I understand if you don't want to copy it out. I will try my best to remember to copy and paste this in my YouTube description when I actually create the video and upload it, but no promises. My memory might be pretty bad with that. Now, I know that this has been a 9-minute long clip or a 10-minute long clip. I did not intend for it to be that long, but hey, I guess this is going to be a 2-hour long video. Hopefully you guys stick around for it. Anyways, I'm learning a lot. I feel like I'm making progress. I've been grinding really hard for the past 13 days, every single day. Days it feels like I'm not getting anywhere, and other days I feel like it's like an epiphany moment. Like, my God, why haven't I been doing that sooner? But it's just a learning experience, and I'm definitely learning a lot. And I'm learning that one of the things I need to understand is that you can't get stuck on one specific direction. My direction is going to change all the time, and I have to be okay with that. If I get stuck on a dream and an idea, then that could ultimately be my downfall, because who's to say your first idea is the best? Who's to say your 5th or 10th idea is the best? There's always going to be improvement, and I need to be able to pivot and adjust as necessary. So that's kind of what I'm doing here. Thanks for watching it this way through. Hopefully this is the midway point. Hopefully it doesn't go much longer than 2 hours. Wanted to keep it within an hour, but I don't think that's going to happen. I'm going to pause this here so I'm not killing your guys' ear. Thanks for watching. I'll be back in a couple seconds for you guys, probably a few days for me. All right, so got a little bit of an update here. I know it's only one day after, and I said I'd update you every few days, but I think with all the progress I'm about to be making with Maker School, I think that it's going to be important that I do more frequent updates. So this one is yesterday after I made that last video or that last clip. I did the pre-program day 1. I'm not going to go through everything here. If you want to stop and read all these notes that I took, it's good stuff, but it's mostly just for me, so I have something to reference back to later. So that was the pre-program, and this is what I've been working on day 1 today. So day 1, I needed to essentially, the tasks for day 1 is choose an operating name, which is just going to be the company name that I fall under. Now, I already had that step completed because I filed my LLC a couple weeks ago for Highest. So I had my domain name was highestsolutions.com. Then the goal was to set up cold emails to start warming up in the inbox. I haven't completely completed this step yet, but essentially what we've got here is, where are they at? I went and created some domain names. So he recommended starting out with 4 just for warm email methods, because you don't want to, for cold emails, if you just start creating new emails and blasting them out with that, there's a rate limit, you'll get flagged for spam, it'll be an issue, and we just don't want that. So there's a whole process, trying to trust the process, but essentially I just created 4 domain names. We have got, oh no, oh come on now, man, don't do this. Are you freaking serious? Okay, not gonna let me scroll down. What I did was, is that gonna let me scroll there? Okay, I guess I can't scroll down and show any of this. I guess you don't need to be seeing any of it anyways. Essentially, I got 4 domains. It's going to be Highest or gohighestsolutions.com, gethighestsolutions.com, hellohighestsolution.com, and there was one more. I can't quite remember what it was, but there was one more. Anyways, I got 4 domain names now, including my original, which was Highest Solution. And moving forward, I'm just going to start getting the warm email stuff set up so that I can start getting that momentum, so that around like 3 or 4, I'll have something to be able to actually work with to do some cold outreach. Something else exciting did happen. Do you guys, well, I don't know why I'm asking you. A few clips ago, I mentioned that I was doing a side project for my mom to get a lead generator going to help bring in for window installs and door installs for the company she works for, Mr. Window. Now, the issue that they've got there is because they don't market to business. They do more of consumer to business. And that's more difficult to pull leads for, because you need to be able to pull people's specific information and reach out to them. And the hurdle we ran into is you can't legally have a bot or an agent scrape the website for people's personal information like that. So to get around that, we got scraped to Zillow with a lead generator that way to get people's recently sold or recently purchased houses. Because people recently purchased those houses, they're more likely to be in the market for needing home renovation services. I got 2,300 or addresses that way. And sorry, by the way, guys, it's 10:30 at night here. I've been busy as heck all day. It was my dad's birthday today, so if you're watching this, happy birthday. Went over to see him. Anyways, so yeah, the point was that I got all of those addresses collected into a data sheet for Excel, and then I was getting them transferred over to a service that mailed postcards out for the company. And on the company, it had a QR code attached to it, along with in fact, hold on, give me a second. Let me go get that and I'll show it to you guys. All right, so this was the postcard that I had created and mailed out to people. It's reversed, but essentially $125 off. Scan the QR code right there, and it got uploaded to a CRM that when you scan this code, it pulls up a form for people to fill out their personal contact information. That way it's legal because they willingly gave us their contact information. Now, once they put in their email and their phone number, that gets uploaded to a database that we will have access to. Then I am going to create a chat bot that has access to that database that will then, when people scan this QR code and put in their personal information, this chat bot will then reach out to them to get a conversation started and get some sort of follow-up quote or follow-up consultation scheduled with my mom, so they can actually get a quote and some measurements set up. So I know that was a lot of detail, but yeah, I'm really excited for this because that means that I have like of the project itself working. I just got to get the chat bot integrated, and I'm really excited for that. So I've made some pretty good progress in that field. Yeah, that's kind of where I'm at. That's the update I've got here. I will come back to you guys tomorrow with a day 2 that I work on for, I'm going to be doing every single day. So I know I said I'm doing a 30-day challenge, but it's really going to turn into like day challenge, maybe longer than that. I don't know. I'm having fun right now, so I don't see a reason. Like, is it really work if you're enjoying it? Some stressful moments, but ultimately I'm enjoying doing this. So yep, the update. We'll be back later with another clip for you guys. Okay, I decided that I was just gonna throw this in here really quick. I am taking pretty thorough notes as I go through this. I really don't feel like typing all this crap out, so I'm just gonna record it so it's kind of out there. So I'm going here, adding all of these domains that I just made. I have one more than I was supposed to have, but I think that will be okay. But I'm doing my last one now. I've got 4 of my 5 verified here, and we're just gonna walk you guys through how I do this. So if you're following along with, you're in the situation where you're trying to add domains to a Gmail account, essentially, once you get to this part right here, after you've linked your initial domain to it, and then you are trying to add other secondary domains, all you're gonna do is go to add domain. You're going to get your domain address, copy it, enter it here, keep it on secondary domain. And to add it, next, we're using Namecheap for the host. You're going to want to copy this value right here, go back in. So if you're using Namecheap, you'll follow along exactly. If you're not, man, you might be SOL. I don't know. It'll host you're using. It'll give you like go-to option right here, and that should walk you through the most part. But if you're using Namecheap, this is so much easier. So all you do is go here, add new record, scroll down, add a TXT record for host. Host will always be an @ symbol. Your value will be what you copied from that Google over there. Where it says automatic for the TTL, scroll down and set that to 1. I guess you don't really have to do that. If it's automatic, I'm sure it'll work fine, but Nick, the guy I'm following, says to do 1, or else, I quote, the world will fall apart. So we're just going to go ahead and follow what he does because he seems like he knows what he's doing. So we're going to save that. Then we're going to go down here where it says mail settings, and we are going to email forwarding. We're going to do custom MTX, and right here we're going to add a host, do @mail server will always be MTP SMT. Hold on, let me go verify that. Yes, smtp.google.com. Priority will be 1, and so the world doesn't fall apart, we're going to set the TTL to 1. Make sure to save your changes. Once that's done, you're going to go back to your Google. You're going to check this little box down here. Click confirm. I'm going to pause this so this doesn't take up time. I should have just let it record. That was 2 seconds. And then we're going to activate the Gmail later. That's just, you guys can figure that one out later. It say activate Gmail right here. So, okay. All right. It is 2:08 at night. Been my longest day yet. Granted, I did spend about 3 to 4-ish hours hanging out with my dad earlier for his birthday. But enjoying it, but god damn, is it a lot of work. I'll be back tomorrow with an update. So, alright, it's a new day. It's pretty freaking late today. I actually ended up having a trip to the emergency room. My wife called 911 this morning on me because I was in the bathroom, and I don't know how else to explain it except that it felt like I was gonna die. I had like massive stomach pains going on down there. I passed out, couldn't see, I couldn't hear, I was sweating profusely, I was in excruciating pain, pretty bad. She was worried. She said that my face apparently went pale and my lips started to turn blue. I don't know. Anyways, went there, they did a bunch of scans, said they couldn't really find anything going on with my intestines, but outside of that, I really just need to follow up with my primary care. But I know that's not really part of what's going on this month, but I just thought I'd give a little bit of an update here. So I'm not going to waste too much more of your time with this clip, so I'm just going to pause it here and then get into day 2 of this 90-day process with Nick's program. So I'll be back in a bit. So as I'm working on day 2 right now of this program, this is going to be an interesting one for me because, so the first one was select my niches. Now I do think that I have found some decent niches that I can work with here. Let me pull these up. The 3 that I identified was CRM lead generation, content management firms, and email marketing companies. Essentially what I'm going to do for each of these is I build CRM integrated lead generation system for marketing and sales departments. I build content creation systems for social media management, and I build research and development systems for email marketing companies. So something that I was not planning for was this next step. I guess he says not to look ahead, so I'm trying to trust the process, and it is going to be interesting to say the least. Now I have to create 3 case studies. So essentially what these case studies are going to be are short, just brief iterations that are going to be like this, that pretty much highlight achievements or accomplishments I've made. And I'm assuming they should probably relate to the niches that I'm trying to focus down on, because those are going to be the people that I cold outreach to. So for example, why would I say some sort of accomplishment related to my military experience for going out on a mission, because that's probably what I have the most experience with, when none of them are tailored to any of these niches. So this will be interesting. I'm going to have to get really creative. I have already started thinking about a few, but long story short, I'm going to have to get creative. So I'm making this clip and I'm going to pause it here. And then here in a few seconds, I'm going to come back with, well, a few seconds for you. I'm going to come back to you guys with what I come up with. And this is just sort of trying to see what I pull out of the bag here. So, all right, I'll be right back. All right, we're back. So these are the case studies that I came up with. And to be honest with you, I think I did a pretty decent job for somebody that doesn't have any real client experience. I've got a very minimal amount of automations experience, but still with my credentials, I think I did an okay job here that I feel confident that I can work with these anyways. So the first case study I did was, and what I wrote and read was essentially just explaining where I came from with it, because they are a little, they don't have numbers or percentages in them. Well, this one does, I guess, but the others don't. First one is, I implemented AI-driven workflows that streamline sales team lead management by pulling 2,300 leads and contacting them by mail, qualifying them by QR code scanning, and integrating them into a CRM. This is going to be defined as the project that I was working for my mom. So essentially, the project I've been working on for my mom should fit nicely into this. I was able to generate her 2,300 leads for a window installation company targeting people who have recently purchased houses on Zillow. So I thought that that was a pretty good way of articulating that. This next one is, I built an AI-driven email marketing system that consistently generates qualified leads for sales teams. Responses are then analyzed to determine high-value customers and then sorted to determine quality of lead. Essentially what this is what I've already been working on through this program. It's the cold outreach email system. So basically what's going to happen is, as I get responses on emails, I'm going to integrate it into a CRM so that it can filter out the leads as people respond, and have an AI agent connected to that as well that can determine the quality of these leads. Now, to get started, I'm only going to be dealing with them myself, so I can still determine and get that engagement on a personal level. But I am going to connect it to an AI agent on the back end and create a whole system out of it so that I do have a working product to show consumers when they get back to me. And then the last one is, I developed automated social media content engines that streamlined client content creation, optimized for a high level of consumer engagement. And essentially that's just what I've been working on with my partner with the content generation program. Basically what we're currently getting fine-tuned at the moment is, on the side is going to be like a drop-down box. You'll be able to select from different platforms like Instagram or LinkedIn or Facebook or whatever other platform that we've got integrated in there. And each agent that's going to be, essentially when you switch it from, let's say you're on Facebook and then you switch it from Facebook to LinkedIn, there's going to be a specific agent that is trained for that specific platform to optimize user engagement. For example, LinkedIn is better suited for a little lengthier posts. Obviously you don't want to bore your reader to death, but it's going to be a little longer than your traditional Facebook or even X. X, you can only have a super small amount. I think the maximum is 200 characters or something crazy like that. So the different platforms are going to require different types of content engagement. It needs to be optimized for different platforms. So that's basically what we're working on there. And my partner actually told me that he should have a completely finalized product that's going to be fine-tuned by tomorrow. So that should be interesting to get back to. Hopefully I've got that to show you guys. That'll be pretty cool. But I think this case study is fairly solid. I think I can work with this, and it integrates nicely into the niches that I picked. The email marketing, that's what I'm doing right now. The CRM lead generation, that's what I'm doing for my mom. And then the content management, that's already what I'm working on for my own self anyways. So I think that I've got something going here. But anyways, that was the update. I am going to stop this video here and it will be added into the level of clips. I don't know why I just said that. You guys don't need to know that. Anyways, I'll be back with something else later. All right, so I'm pivoting just a little bit. I'm not happy about this, but essentially the way it's looking is I'm not going to be able to follow each day exactly day by day. And the reason behind this is because when I've been going through this, I've learned that I'm going to need to have a little bit more experience with actual automation creation first. And since I'm following Nick's program, he specializes with using make.com. I think it's going to be best if I start to learn how to create some stuff and make. Now, the reason why I'm saying this is, well, really just I watched this video here of him, and I'm about to start sending out applications. And one of the things that he recommends doing is when you apply with a CV on Upwork, you need to attach a video with it. And that makes a lot of sense to me. I want to maximize my chances of getting selected and having my application seen. And so to do that, I don't want to be like everybody else out there having a big, long resume that nobody wants to read. I think the short, sweet, and simple version sounds much better. And personally, if I'm an employer, I think a video would make a heck of a lot more sense. Also, by the way, if you're wondering why the video looks different than usual, I'm experimenting with some new things here on this application that I use with OBS Studio. I'm seeing how blurred the background looks. Anyways, not the point. The point is, I'm about to start doing some in-depth make tutorials, and I think that's going to become invaluable for me, because at the end of the day, I can't reasonably record a video and send it to somebody to try and outbeat the competition if I don't know what I'm talking about and if I don't have anything built out, because they're going to want to see examples of this stuff. And so what better way to do it than to record me having actual automations up here on my screen. So, excuse me, sorry about that. Just ate some dinner. Anyways, so that's what I'm going to do. So I will be back when I feel like I've mastered a little bit more of some automations here and I feel more comfortable sending out some applications. I'm still going to go through some of the daily stuff. Probably going to start doing some of the cold outreach method, because I feel like even with following through, I'm still going to be able to get in touch with some people, but it's going to take probably at least, at minimum, I probably won't expect to talk to anybody specifically for at least a week if I had to guess. And so if I focus all my extra time into learning how to create these automations with Make, I think I should be able to proficiently create automations by the end of this week. Hopefully, fingers crossed, that's the goal. So, all right, I'll be back with you guys with an update once I progress a little bit further, but you probably won't see me doing day 4 tomorrow. Day 3 is probably going to take me a little while to get through. So that's kind of what's going on with that. All right, so I've got something exciting for you guys today, or I guess in this clip. So my partner just got back to me and he has completed the beta phase of it. And we're now moving on to testing here. Or sorry, he completed the prototype phase. Now we're moving on to testing for the content generator. So I'm super excited about that. Here, let me get it up for you guys so you can sort of see it here. Ignore that. Where's it at? There we go. All right, so essentially all that needs to be done here, when you click on it, there are 2 options. You can either go to the default mode or the custom mode. We're just going to go to the default mode because when you go into custom mode at the bottom of it, now I'm still fine tuning this. When you go, and I'll show you what I mean and I'll explain it when I click on this. But essentially in the custom mode, for the form to be submitted properly, there's a required field for an example that needs to be put in at the bottom. And I'm not going to worry about getting a specific LinkedIn post example structure here. But what we're going to do is just do custom mode, submit that. We're going to do, let's do something besides AI. What kind of topic should I do here? How the African lion hunts its prey. Just something regular here. Now for the, this is what we're still critiquing this, but it's still ready for testing in general. Now, in here for the brand voice, we have options, and I told him that we've got to get rid of the options because when you give people a drop-down menu that says select an option, and then they only see one option, they almost feel like their choices have been taken away. So we're working on either adding more options or just getting rid of the options altogether. We're going to play around with it, but for now, we'll just stick with authoritative. When you go into custom, this is what I'm talking about with the difference. Custom has 4 options. There's like a friendly and a casual and authoritative and a professional, and there's a few other options with custom. So we're trying to figure out how to combine the both, but without having to put in your exact example of content. But let's just stick with the email here. How the African lion hunts its prey. Let's see what we get. Switch over my email while we're waiting here. Should be something coming through any second. Form submitted. Refresh the email. It's coming from jasonholloway.highest@gmail.com. Lions are often revered as the apex predators of the African savanna, but the reality of their hunting prowess is truly awe-inspiring. Ever witnessed a lion hunt? Let's take a step into the savanna and explore how these magnificent creatures dominate their environment. sometimes taking on prey that seems nearly impossible to tackle. Here's what goes down when lions hunt. Leopards. The agile leopard may rely on its speed and climbing skills to escape, yet when a hungry lion arrives, the tables quickly turn. Lions can claim the prize swiftly, leaving leopards clutching at thin air. Buffaloes, bold and powerful. Buffaloes aren't easy prey. Lions employ a strategic group approach, targeting the weak, yet buffaloes fight back fiercely, showing the size and strength matters of animal kingdom. I'm not going to read through all of this. I don't think everybody cares about how lions hunt their... Well, I don't know. I think lions are pretty cool in my opinion, but anyways, it's super cool because not only does it optimize it, it makes it super engaging, but at the bottom here it says it gives some call to action, some questions to get some user feedback and some engagement. So curious about the dynamics between these fierce hunters. What's your take on the nature of predator versus prey? Share your thoughts and let's discuss the complex web of life on the African savanna. If this post intrigues you, feel free to share it with fellow wildlife enthusiasts. So I think that's fantastic. Honestly, I think it's coming along. There's definitely some critiquing, fine-tuning that needs to be made. We're also working on implementing a feedback box at the bottom when they receive an email so that they can get back to us and tell us how we can improve it, some of the things that we can do. I've already actually got some feedback on some of the communities that I've been in, such as where we go to here, like this. I thought this was a really good piece of feedback that we're going to look into. Kalina says, looks good. However, first sentence is not very entertaining. Take into account that your post can be short and hidden. Therefore, I would advise hiding the prompt requirement about the hook for increased social engagement. So what they're saying here is essentially where, oh no, should not have brought that up. Oh well, I don't think it showed anything. It doesn't matter. There's nothing on here. So like this one right here, there's no exclamation point. There's nothing really popping out. It sounds good just because lions are cool, but besides that, it doesn't really grasp your attention, because here in this example that I posted to get feedback on, this one says the AI discourse in manufacturing revolves around automation and the potential displacement of human workers. I care about that, but if I saw that, I might not click on it to read more. There's not much enthusiasm. It doesn't catch me. The hook needs to be better. So these are some things that we can do, but I personally am really happy with the way it's turning out. We're getting some really good feedback here. We're making some really solid improvements. So that's the update for today. I'm still working on N8N. I did create my first email automated responder. So essentially when I get an email that's formatted for a specific structure, this would be good for if somebody is submitting a form that's guaranteed to have. So this would be good for this, right? Automated post. When, let's say we have a form that is implemented that people fill out. When that email gets sent to me or them, it will have a standard subject line that we can implement. That way, when the email is received, it will automatically trigger a response that we can put in place that says this one says new lead notification example. That's just my example, but if I wanted to replace it to reply to this, I would put automated post. And then it would search for everything that is related to automated posts. And then it would go through ChatGPT. This one designs the custom reply. This one pulls the actual email extract out so that it can have its own custom response pulled from the email. Then this pulls the response from the email extractor and incorporates it into the new send person or the recipient that it's going to be going to. Also integrated with whatever custom response this ChatGPT module comes out with. So, wow. Quick example. Subject line, can set it for a subject line that comes through on the post or on the email, gets sent through here. This creates a custom reply for the email. This one extracts the email for the recipient that it's going to be sent to. This one generates the reply and emails back out. Sorry about that. So anyways, that's what I've been working on. That's what I did last night. I'm going to be dealing with some more Make.com automations today. I think today I will be working on webhooks. So webhooks should be fun. That can essentially be how I can incorporate the forms. Well, probably use some other things such as data scraping from my website. But anyways, I'll be back when I get some other workflow put in. I've got homework that I need to work on today too, so I might be behind on that note, trying to juggle a few things at once. So I'm going to end this clip because it's getting a little long. So, all right, I'll be back later. Bye. All right, so we are back again. I'm going to try to keep this clip a little short because I realized that I have spent the past 5 days and I did not record a damn thing. I have been writing stuff down. I thought that I recorded on day 19, but I guess the last time I recorded was the 17th and now it's the 22nd. So I got a lot of catching up for you guys to do. So first things first, I'm going to touch on the fact of automations. I would be further along in creating our automations right now, but I actually came into touch with something else that I feel like is a little more powerful and beneficial for me. That's the power of social media, but we're going to get into that later. I did create one more automation, but as it stands right now, I've got 4 or 5 different automations that I can still use to start marketing. And I don't want to focus on just doing too much product creation and then not enough outreach. And then I'm sitting here with all this great stuff that nobody's ever heard of. So I need to start marketing at the same time while I build. That's why I've been focusing on content creation. But some of the things that you guys missed, I don't know if you remember back in the beginning of the video, but I signed up for something called the Warrior Rising program for service disabled veterans, small business owners. I just completed that on Thursday. So that was pretty cool. And then I enrolled in their academy. It's called the Warrior Rising Academy. It's a 40 module lesson. They also have monthly meetings. And once you complete that, you are eligible to enroll in for something called the Warrior Rising University. And what that does is it is a much more difficult course with one-on-one training. They're very selective. I'm not guaranteed to get in like these other programs. And if you fall within the top 1%, you have a chance of being flown out to, I think they said Las Vegas, something. You get flown out somewhere, wherever their hub is, and you have the opportunity to stand in front of a board to get potentially selected for a grant to help fund your business. And that's further down the line. We're talking like to 5 months further down the line, maybe longer than that. We'll see though. Completed the inbound HubSpot here, which I have now added to my Upwork profile down here. Verification is still pending, but I actually just completed that test this morning. Also created my Facebook business profile if you guys are interested in following that. Been making regular posts on it. The name of the profile is right here, Advanced B2B AI Solutions for Business Owners and Entrepreneurs. That's my beautiful little face right there. Been on my certifications, joining some groups. I have some videos up on there, and then I even have an introductory video here that I will share. Hey, how's it going? Thank you so much for clicking on this video. If you made it here, that means that you found your way to my Facebook business page. So you may or may not be able to hear that. I don't know, but essentially that's me introducing anybody that clicked on it that made their way to their Facebook business page. So that's pretty cool. I've got that nice and set up. I can offer a proposal video, which is essentially, what that one is that I showed you, but with a little more pizzazz. So something interesting that happened at the beginning of this week, I got introduced to a man by the name of Nicky T. Shout out to him. His actual name is Nicholas, I'm sorry if you see this, Travani. Sorry, I can't remember your last name. But T is a great dude. He's a business coach, super successful, sold businesses for 7 is what it is, or 8 figures, I believe. Yeah, 8 businesses. He's a book out there that I've been reading 10 a day, very informative, and he specializes in helping people generate leads through the use of social media. My friend Dakota, who I served in the military with in Korea, he got me in contact with him because Dakota's also a business owner out of a videographer, a lead agency out of Arizona. He got me in contact with him on Instagram, and what ended up happening, because those two are so close, and he considers me a close friend of Dakota, which are, him and I have been talking. And what he's done so far for me is essentially, he's kind of way audited my, the stuff that I've been putting up there. Essentially, he's been helping me provide and bring more value to some of the stuff that I've been putting up here, which is already working, because to jump into something else here, I started doing this only on either Monday or Tuesday. I can't remember what day my first day was. I've gotten 3 leads from this. I've got this guy named Drew, Nonprofit Awards. Drew, both of those people are interested in working together potentially. They just want seeing, okay, where the lead is at right now. Both of them are interested in learning more and seeing how AI opportunities can benefit their, where I'm confident that I can get them, I think that I can at least get them on a discovery call to where we can talk about more potential opportunities. And from there, it's really just going to be up to my sales. That's where I'm a personable kind of guy. but I don't have a whole lot of experience in hard sales. I have to do some research because, man, that's going to hurt if I jump on there and I blow the sales call. But, at the end of the day, it's okay, because if I do blow it, I can then talk to them after the fact and say, hey, what could I have done to close this deal? Like, what could I have offered to make it better, and build and learn? That's what this whole process is about. Better bookkeeping, he's interested in looking into a potential partnership because he's just opening up or starting up as well, and he's interested to see how maybe AI could help streamline some of his bookkeeping processes. Okay, we're in a 6-minute clip here already, but that's pretty cool. This is my profile. If you guys want to follow me, it's Holloway Jason. I'm on Instagram. I've been putting some stuff up. My reels are here. Nothing super crazy, but it's a start. That I've got videos that are already getting 150 views within a few days. That's for me, because I literally just started using this platform, like I said, a few days ago. So that's pretty cool. Now we're on to TikTok. I have a differentiating opinion about TikTok, but we're not going to go on that. I'm not going to touch on that. Regardless, another platform for me to use. It's working well. I've got one video that's already got almost 400 or over 400 views. Again, I know that's not huge, but for me, that's big for me. And my plan is to eventually use this as a funnel to drag it towards my business profile, where people can go to my website. And that's another thing. I've been working on a website, but I'll show it to you. It's not ready for the final product yet, but just so you guys do see that. In fact, let's go there right now so that I don't just look like I'm talking out of my ass. So this is what happens when you first get to it. I need to, all of this stuff right here, these creative tips on this side, I did not put any of this stuff in. What this is, I'm trying to figure out how to make this next page my actual homepage, but it's not wanting to work with me for some reason. So if you click homepage, read more, it brings you to this beautiful little beast right here, where I've got my introduction video of showcasing some of the stuff I've done right now, which I'll probably recreate over time to get for more advanced and personable automations. It's a little interactive for right now. Like I said, it's nothing crazy. To adjust all of this stuff, I've learned that web development is not for the faint of heart. So again, we're not going to get into that right now, but that's kind of the thing I've been working on. So now that we're done with social media, let's into this right here. Okay, so the last time I showed you was the integration email video, but this one is a webhook integration template. We're gonna go to CRM and Monday.com. So this is designed for right now is strictly for PowerPoint presentations, but I can adjust this very for a PDF document or a Google slide document or a Google Sheet document or a Word document, or literally the end that this has is insurmountable in my opinion, because literally anything that is like a presentation or just anything like that can be replaced on this Google slide section and do the exact same functionality when it gets ran. I'm not going to run it right this second because I've already got something up over here and I don't want it to take time, and this video is getting long as it is. But after it gets ran, it pulls the data from this whole section here, from that whole tab that I just moved, and it puts a link right here. So we can open this link, and this was completely procedurally generated by AI. So that's super cool. I've got a little editing that needs to be done with it, but we can flip through here, and this is just a basic overview of some stuff. It doesn't have specific words in there. It's lorem ipsum right now, so that's pretty cool. I've been working on that. It's not fine-tuned, but it could be if somebody had like a job for me to do. That's for my own personal example. Okay, so we got here. Let me pause it so I can look at my little list. Okay, so where I'm at now, this was another lead that I've got, but this one is a little bit more than a lead. This one's a little interesting to say the least. It's a partnership. So from that Warrior Rising program I told you guys about, I've been connecting with people. Now this person, her name is Christina Forrester, and she is starting up a nonprofit called Shield Maidens that's meant to assist warrior or female veterans. Sorry, I lost my train of thought. So essentially her story is it really resonates with me, not on the female aspect, obviously, but it just talks about how veterans aren't given the full respect that they deserve. And although I try to remain as humble as I can in that aspect, like I try to look at myself as another person because I'm no longer in the military, but out there, that we're told that are offered. And then the biggest problem is that these they claim are there will go, and then it's like they don't want to actually fulfill the promise that's made to us. And so that's the things that she's trying to tackle. But our target group right now is female veterans because it really hits home with her. So basically what we've worked out is that since she's a new and upcoming nonprofit, with that being said, profit has to come in for anybody to make money. Nonprofit is meant to put all the money back into the organization to donate back to the people that they're helping and serving, which is female veterans. So what I figured is that she could use some help. I need some people that I could help work with anyways for that patient zero, so to speak. So we're entering into a partnership where she is going to essentially fund what the software costs to run on the back end, but I'm going to ultimately build it for free using my time and then just let her use it. I pull profits out of my own pockets because I'm not even making anything right now. So I can't really, that would be like a donation, and I can't afford to donate anything at the moment. But yeah, it's going to be a really strong and powerful case for me to be able to have on the back end, because if I can help her grow big and this thing is huge, then I've got a huge testimony on the side saying, hey, not only did I help this person raise this amount of money and help this many amount of people and respond to this amount of emails with all these metrics for my case studies, but now I'll have a top tier testimonial that can go on my website, my business page, my Upwork account, and I think it's going to literally make the world of difference. Plus, it'll give me that experience with working with a client. So that's fantastic. Now, the last thing I'm going to touch on, if you guys made it this far, feel free to jump away from this if you want to. I just wrote it on my list. One of the people on Instagram that I got in contact with, he actually reached out to me this morning, and I think this is going to be pretty cool. It is Mahir, and I got this interesting message saying, hey Jason, I was looking at your content and thought this guy has the potential to blow up. How about we record 20 pieces of content in just 1 hour? All on me. I'll handle the research, strategy, ideation. All you need to do is show up on a Zoom call and perform. No catch. I just want to use your success as my case study to get high ticket clients. Is that worth the chat? Essentially, I just responded back in a voice message saying, yes, absolutely. I love that. That sounds great. If there is a catch, I'll be able to identify it. So I'm not too worried about that. As long as he gives me the content to use for myself, I'll save these messages and it'll be good on the back end. So I think that's going to be really great. We're set to meet tomorrow at 10 a.m. Eastern time. And we'll see where it goes from there. Maybe I'll have some more content to post out there. Maybe I'll have some clips to put to you guys. So anyways, I'm going to end this clip here. That's a massive update. A lot of things are moving. I think that things are promising, and maybe I've got 9 days left. Let's see if we can't seal our first deal before this 30 days is up. Wow, wouldn't that be something? All right, so I decided that I would just kind of give you guys a little bit of an update of what I've been working on the past few days. I've got kind of a step back unintentionally. Something that I always the main reason why I ended up getting into this whole business venture thing was by watching podcasts. And I kicked it in my head that it would be a great idea for me to start one of my own. Now, not to say that it would be the worst idea in the world, but as it stands right now, I did a little self-reflection last night after I talked to my wife about it, and she asked me, she was like, okay, well, what benefit does this have for the company? And I started to think, and I could feel myself sort of stretching, the right idea. You should be able, when somebody asks you, what's the benefit of this? Like, why are you doing this when you're working on a company? You should be able to, without hesitation, be able to answer, this is what it's doing. This is why I'm doing it. This is what it's going to do for the company. And I felt like I wasn't able to really answer those, honestly. Every kind of felt like a stretch. And I started to do a little bit of self-reflection on that note, and I don't know. I just kind of jump into something that I wanted to do versus what I needed to do. I don't have any income coming in just yet. Still working on that. So before I can actually do something that I want to do, I don't even have really any viewers. Whoever's watching this are going to be a handful of people that decide to actually watch this. So yeah, more later on down in the future, but for right now, it's not going to be that many. So I don't know. I wasted the past 2 days going and that's what this is going to be about. I'm going to have a lot of mess ups. I'm going to take a step back. I'm going to nix ideas that I think sound great in the beginning. it just, especially with me being this close to the end. I mean, at the end, it's the end of the 30 days. It's getting close to the end of the 30 days. I got 6 days left. But I should have been spending my time more wisely, is really what it comes down to. So I just thought I'd throw that in there for a quick little update. I'm going back to working on the 30 days with through the Maker School. So, which I didn't give up on that. I took a second from that because I had to work on something else. And the more I started working on other things, the more I just neglected that aspect. So I'm going back to that. Yeah, I know it's been a few seconds for you, but it's been a few days for me. It is currently March 25th. I have been grinding away, late hours, late days, long days. I mean, early, all that good stuff. So I remember the last video, I told you guys that hopefully, or at least I had said that hopefully by the end of the month, by the end of the 30-day challenge, we were lucky, we might end up getting our first client within 30 days of starting up from absolutely nothing. That means I didn't know anything about code. I didn't know how to do automations. I didn't know how to do outreach. I didn't have a network built. I didn't have any of that. And 25 days into it, I believe we've got our first client. I've got a clip for you guys. Just go ahead and watch this. It doesn't show an actual confirmation, but I have some other stuff in the back ends of it. And I'll give you guys a project description as well. But go ahead and just check this out. Happy. Or dude. Much, man. How's it going with you? That was quite a learning curve there, huh?
Oh man, I need a Discord like I need. Like, people like you, Jason. That's what I'm here to do. And ask you a question about the business mentorship. Like, you don't have the most time in the world, you know, like, so we're working together, chatting together, and as the relationship grows, if eventually you find yourself kind of blending RVP team, you know, you'll for sure. It was said work for free, the price would be too expensive because I have to be a business mentor to my entire team, to certain select few clients. But I help, you know what I mean? I want to help, and the more just we get together, the more time that's going to happen. So it's not outside of the realm of possibility. And to be frank, there's not a way to help a person just starting a business because there's a lot of basic stuff you got to do first, which is just performing good on this project is one thing, right? Just so you have some proof that you did something that was more complex than the 10,000 other guys who are just, because what I've seen, right, trying to connect with people, even in this AI Foundations, most of the people I meet, all they know how to do is copy templates they saw on YouTube and try and sell them. You know what I mean? So they go, oh, AI chatbot. Hey, do you need a chatbot? Hey, do you need a chatbot? Like AI SEO content writer. Hey, do you need an AI SEO content writer? Hey, do you need AI? Like, it's just the shit that everybody else is selling off of YouTube channels from, you know, AI. What's the other one? Like, they all YouTube guys, right? You got Ben, you got Carter and Drake, you got
So as you can see, it's get my mic adjusted here. So as you can see, that was a pretty amazing opportunity. Now I want to also preface on that, when I found him, I actually ended up finding several other people as well. So much so that what I had to start doing was creating this. So I went back to Monday and I started creating a actual CRM to be able to track leads and opportunities, projects that are currently being worked on, leads that are coming inbound. It's not much, but it is. I have up to Brian Diamond, which that should be working on it. We've already met, so I got the leads being generated there. I have somebody else that I'm meeting with tomorrow. I have somebody that I'm meeting with next Monday. He's the person that has officially said, like, yes, I will pay you for your time. Yes, I will give you a testimonial. I will give you this opportunity. So he's the only surefire as of right now. But I am very confident that here before this month is even up, I'm going to have a few other people. And then to mention, I've also got other people that I'm talking to on Instagram that I did got networking going on there with my business account there. So things are really starting to move along. And it's getting to the point to where I might end up getting too many projects to tackle myself. So I'm going to have a actual development team, which I do have somebody else that's working with me. His name is Joss. Shout out to Joss. And then my brother, him and I are going to be on the same team together because my knowledge is lower than the average person, and my kind of makes up for that. He's pretty with the coding aspect of development and whatnot. So we're going to be working together. Now, this is the project that I'm going to be working on. It is a voice agent that is geolocationally aware and can set appointments. Essentially, the tools that are going to be used are going to be Google Cloud Street View, 11 Labs, Retail HubSpot, Open Weather API, Google Maps, Calendar. He's willing to pay $15 an hour. He's budgeting this at 50-hour project, which ends up coming out to, if I project, it comes out to $750, which is, especially for a first project that I had initially offered to do for free, and I only wanted a testimonial of it. So now after looking at it, I do see why he is still willing to pay, because this is a pretty heavy project. It's not for the faint of heart. It is strictly me. So I'm going to have to be doing a lot of research. I'm going to be using a lot of ChatGPT to ask questions. I'm going to be using my brother. I'm going to be working with the guy that I develop with on the side. All my community. I'm going to freaking resource at my disposal to make sure that I can get this done by the deadline of April 15th, which originally it was supposed to be at a 4-week deadline, but this was pre-typed up a week ago, so I'm already technically a week behind. So I'll pause this right here so that you guys can see what he's looking for. Well, I won't pause. You guys can go ahead and pause it, but this is essentially what it is. If you guys want to look at it, this is what the project's going to detail. I'll upload a video of it completed later on down the line once it's done, and as I'm working on it as I go. But that's where I'm, guys. So things are really moving. Now I just need to focus on the actual developmental aspect of things. Maybe I can get tutorials in there once I feel more comfortable with some stuff. I am now marketing as a business consultant that can bring AI solutions to people's businesses. I'm no longer marketing as a AI automations owner. I feel like that's getting a bad rap. It's going to burn in the long run. At the end of the day, if I market myself as a business consultant, people will come and talk with me. And at the end of the day, they don't necessarily care how it gets done. But if I use AI tools on the back end and then I show them a working deliverable project, I think that's really all they're going to care about. There might be some more fine tuning to be had in the background, but essentially I think that's how it's going to work. And again, I know the business model is going to be ever changing, and a month from now, it might be completely different. We'll see. Who knows? But yeah, that's where I'm at. We hit our goal of a first client within the first 30 days. Let's keep on moving. All right, so to give you guys a little bit of insight as to what's been going on with that project for the client, this is pretty much about where we've gotten to at this point. It has been varied because trying to pull the exact coordinates from Google Maps and Street View and then getting it to the camera to angle exactly at the house is becoming a little challenging, but we've got it nailed down. So essentially all that happens, and I'll walk you through and show you guys a little bit. Let me pause this. All right, form, you submit, it goes through. And so basically you submit the form for the address, which it'll eventually be linked to HubSpot for an on contact and then linked back to a voice agent. That's much further down the line though. We had to get it to where it could pull from Google Street View first. So this pulls from the Google Street View for the backend for the API on the code. And what this does, so what it was doing before, I'll skip to the Street View. This is the picture that it pulled. Now, what would originally happen on Google Maps is it was only set for, I think it was like 70 degrees for cardinal directioning. So it didn't matter where you went, it was just going to take a picture at 70 degrees. So we had to go back in and get a specific code for a formula so that it calculated always the bearing towards the exact heading that you wanted it to face, the forward-facing house of the. So that's what this functionality performs. And once all of that goes into it, like I showed you, got the picture, and then this is the data that gets spit out about it. So what that data is going to be then doing, we're currently on the in the process of with Bucket in the back end of Google Cloud, Google Console, and we're training an API so that it can identify specific features on a house. So like his requirements were colors of doors, of trim, and like the color of the exterior. So I went through Google Images, found like 10 random. We got 5 different colors, and essentially we just got like for each color we got 10 exteriors, and for each color we got 10 trims. That way it was trained on same type of data, but different variations, different colors. It just finished training last night. So later on, either today or tomorrow, I'll come back with another quick update as to how the training itself performed. But we've got a few people tackling this right now. I'm working on a little bit of the grunt work for the stuff that like mindless data entry for training. Brother is doing a lot of hard coding on the back end. And then my other developer, Ajas, he just recently got us to the N8N account and he's working his own project on the side. Let's actually see if without saving, I don't want to mess up. Okay, he hasn't created his workflow yet. That's okay. But anyways, yeah, that's what's going on with that. I wanted to give you guys a quick update. I will end this video now so we're not cutting too far in. It's a long video already. All right, so another update on, we're making some very good progress here. You know what, I'm just gonna go into we got everything put together. The other one, it's separated into 2 workflows. So this is what we've got built out so far. Same thing as before with the notes. This converts it to the file so that it accurately converted into OpenAI. We're still training the model though for the actual image analysis. My partner Joss is working right now. To be honest with you, I'm 100% certain what this is, but I think it has something to do with this. So, but I need to have a meeting with him to figure all those details out. This agent is meant for calendar access, essentially, so that to meet the criteria of the project, it's supposed to be able to access the calendar and essentially be able to compare how far away other appointments are from one another, what the weather is like, the time of day for this. It's supposed to just do all that so that it can accurately determine what the most efficient route is for people to go from appointment to appointment to appointment. So that's how this is going to be working. So that's an update on this is something that I've been working on the side for project management. For the development side, we've got, so this one's more for me. This is the leads. These are the people I'm talking to. I do have one more to talk to, or to add, excuse me, because on April 1st, I've got a meeting with a company called Invets, somebody that I've been talking to very closely. He's interested in seeing what we can do for him. So that's pretty cool. And then the projects here, we've got everybody on here that's working on the projects. Team 1 is me and my brother, and then Ajas is also working on this as well. He's jumping in on that. My brother doesn't necessarily have the time to fully dedicate. He's kind of helping when he has the ability. Got a lot of other things going on. I'm not going to get into that, but that's he's putting in so much work. So happy to have somebody that like my brother that's able to me. So Jake, if you watch this, huge shout out to you. I can't even begin to explain how appreciative I am of you. Seriously, dude. But we're logging the hours. This is what it's projected at. This is a test. Essentially, if we get this working model done by the hit time of April 14th, then there should be future projects and contracts going on. This is essentially to test our abilities to ensure that we're somebody that he wants to work with. So that's what this is. I got project blueprints here. So these are pretty cool. Just the scope and everything. And then this one we had to put on hold for the P5 SEO keyword trend analyzer. My partner was a little confused and he brought up a good point that if we keep adding to the list month over month, none of the keywords match up exactly the same. So essentially what would end up happening is like every month 100 new keywords would be brought in. And then it would be absolutely ridiculous. It would get insanely long and that would be too much for AI to tackle, or it would be too expensive on the customer side or the client side to be able to run that program. Because ultimately what's going to happen is we're not running it off of our end. I'm transferring over to him for him to, if it requires, you know, he does it, get through all the keywords, it might not even be lucrative for him to have that. So that's something I'm waiting to talk with him. I actually have a meeting with him later today and we're going to go over all that. Yeah, that's pretty much what's going on outside. This is kind of the way my calendar is looking right. And if we open up the bookings page, this is kind of what it looks like for the next, it's not looking at the 28th, but going to the 29th, next Tuesday, I've got a lot of appointments out. And then today I've got quite a bit on the schedule. I didn't end up attending that. That's not eating. That's more or less like a seminar to critique other people's businesses. But got a meeting with one potential client right here. He sounds very interested. He's been seeing some of the projects and our capabilities that we're working on. I'm pretty sure he's going to put something on me today. So that's a really big step up. And then Robert, for the project I was just talking to you about with the SEO trend analyzer, that's what we're talking about today to see how we're going to proceed and move forward. So that's pretty cool. Today I also went to the bank and opened up my business account. So your boy's official now. Got a big boy account now, so that was pretty cool. And then this is just something long-term in AI Foundations. They offer a perk that when you get to, leaderboard. When you get to level 8, you unlock lifetime membership for free. So that's kind of like a driving motivator. Down $50 a month for this platform, and it is an amazing community. But I'm getting really strapped for cash right now, so hopefully I don't end up having to let it go. They're actually the reasons why I got the client list that I'm working. So that's pretty cool. I'm excited. Yeah. So looking forward to that. Yeah, just there. Editor, when you see this, please edit this. I would really appreciate this. Micah, thank you. All right, I'm gonna end the video here. That looks bad now. Okay. Welcome to day 30 of my 30 to start a business from absolutely nothing all the way up to see how far we can get. Throughout this journey, we have seen so many different things happen. It's honestly almost unbelievable. And even going back and looking at some of my past video clips, it feels really weird and awkward to watch. I know my camera skills, being on camera, talking to you guys, improved dramatically just by doing that. My skills talking to people, clients, has improved. My skills with networking and overall communication has improved. My skills with project management has improved. Navigating and facilitating a lot of the financial of dealing with the projects on a $300 budget has improved. I mean, so many different aspects has improved. To try to keep this clip short, I'm going to, not really short, but I'm going to move through things quick. I'm not going to sit there and do detailed explanations of everything like I have in past videos, because I want to encompass everything, and I've really only got about 10 minutes on this clip to do it, to be able to meet my 30-minute requirement for my audio enhancement. So that's kind of where we're at here. I'm gonna pause this for a second, come on back, because I got to switch to a different scene. Okay, so the first thing that we're going to be at here is the main project that you guys have been seeing the last few clips on. We have been making some more progress here, and it's starting to look really promising. We've got the lead call, or call the lead, get weather flow, calendar agent, get distance, and then the main one where everything is going, this boy right here. So I'm not going to get into thorough details of what everything here is. If you want, you can pause the video and look at it. In a future clip, I will be having note tabs explaining what each thing is doing. It is not fully built out yet. We still need to add a few other components, such as the actual call agent. But yeah, this one's looking really good. Let me know. So I just started this one late last night, but this is for a different client. It's my SEO trend analyzer, and essentially what's going to happen, I'm not going to pull up the Excel sheet because it has some personal information in there, but basically what's happening is he's got hundreds of thousands of keywords all separated into different months of spreadsheets, and the sheets are separated monthly, like I said, my bad. Anyways, he wants to be able to take the top 10 keywords from each of those months and compare the trend analysis over the course of 6 months at a time. So that's what I'm working on here. My form submission is going to have a drop down for multiple choice for the months he would like to select. I have it started back from September of last year, and it's going to go all the way through until December of this year. And all he should have to do on his end, is select, my dog's using her new bed, we just got her. All he should have to do is select if he wants volume tracked, current organic traffic tracked, or current position tracked, and then he's going to have to just, one of the tools is going to be to the Google Sheets, and he should just have to update that. He'll delete it and then update it so that it's the most current version. Actually, he won't even have to update it because it'll be linked to credentials and it should auto update. Anyways, so that's in theory what's supposed to be happen there. So let's move on. So these are the leads that I have won down here. I actually need to reach back out to this guy. Forgot to reach out to him, but we've 3 on our list right now, and it's only currently me and my main developer. So 3 is a decent sized load for us, especially just starting out. We're trying to get to the point we can have one built out, and then I can then take this solution and say, hey, this has worked for someone else, made them X amount of thousands of dollars, saved them X amount of hours, and I think this would be good for your use case. We win that deal. My developer goes in on the back end and just updates it with their APIs, and then I transfer it over. Bada boom, bada bang. So once we get to the point, right now the grind time is here because we're working on building the agents out, so we have the arsenal to move forward in, so I can start knowing what clients to market to. Going into the projects here, we've got so this other one, so keyword report puller and auto. I don't have one built out. I plan on working on that one plus the other SEO one today, but essentially what that one's going to do is there's going to be an on-form submission again. The person's going to put in their email. By opting into putting in their email, it will allow the client to record their email so that he can have it for future use for marketing later on. And then what they are going to receive by giving him the email is going to top 10 search for link to Google Ads. And the report's going to be exported into a PDF file, possibly using PDF Monkey. That was his suggestion, but I'll explore other options. Then the report will be emailed out to them, and that will essentially be the gist of the workflow. I think that will be very marketable to other people in the future. So let's get on and look at some make.com. So I know I've already covered this in a previous clip, but just to go over this again so you sort of see everything I've got here. We've got the email integrator, which essentially just takes an email that has a specific subject line just for like an on-form submission. And when it's sent, we'll respond back to that one. And then when it responds back, this will allow it to have a specific designated email response saying, hey, we acknowledge your response here. We your email. Would you like to get something scheduled, maybe put something on the books? What this is the webhook integrator, and I have it set up for PowerPoint presentations, but the implications for this is vast. That's just the one example I trained on. But you can do it for PDF documents, Word documents, really any sort of documents that need to be modified. You just put the curly brackets around and tell it exactly what specific information you want inputted in there. So like from previous nodes, you would just drag, like they have their email put in, you just drag that and it would put their specific email in there or their first and last name or whatever information they need. This is going to be really good for like real estate applications or legal applications or even documents or really just, I think that the implication could be really good. And then the new hire sales, my wife is actually currently helping me get this one ready. And basically this is just going to create like an automated form so that it can start weed out some of the applicants. So like, let's say you've got 10 people that apply to a job for HR. It will give them a set of predetermined questions for a questionnaire. And based on their selections or based on their answer choices, it will be fed into a CRM and determine if they were eliminated or if they, can proceed on to like the next phase for an interview or something like that. And it can update itself automatically that HR knows exactly where they are in the phase of the hiring. Okay, I maybe shouldn't be showing you guys this. I'm not too worried about it, especially in the beginning phase. I'm not going to continue to make videos to show my finances going forward in the future, but just so you guys see what I've been working on throughout this month, and I have gone through and added and subtracted and deleted and just keep modifying this to manage the money goes in and out. But these are currently the subscriptions I pay for. I might end up dropping Maker School. I'm not entirely sure. I haven't been following along with the day-by-day selection as much as I should have, but the training courses are very good. And all of the cold email I don't think is going to be beneficial to me. I think that the Upwork is going to be beneficial and the community outreach is going to be very beneficial as well. So I'm indecisive if I should keep that or not. I will determine that later on once I have more money coming in. But for right now, it's on. We're sitting at $251.42 for the entire month. We have secured our first 3 clients, potentially an additional 2 with Brian Diamond, and I have a meeting on Tuesday with a company called InVets, and we're going to discuss some other options there. The one that I'm working on for the S-Trend Analyzer, he's got a bunch of different clients he wants this built out for as well. We have agreed upon a price of $200 because I'm starting out and I really need testimonials. This could essentially be sold for $1,000 per agent that he needs built out or more. but and he agrees that the use case is worth that much, but because I'm so new and he needs, we're still testing things out here, have made a verbal agreement that moving forward, $200 now, we work with each other. He can pull lists for me if I need it, so I use his services, and in exchange I give him an insane discount. And then for maintenance moving forward, it will be at a very discounted rate as well. I'm thinking maybe like $50 or $100 a month per agent that needs to meet the monthly schedule. I'm thinking maybe $50 because he's going to have probably like 6 to 10, maybe more. And it should take minimal maintenance. Anyways, I don't need to go into that, but that's what's going on there. So I've got a pretty nice Excel sheet here. I need to migrate it into Zoho for a cheaper option that's actually designated for this stuff. But I've got my receipts here. I've got my next billing date here. The link to the subscription, if I need to cancel it, is right here. The title, what the subscription plan offers, the price. I've got it all here. One-time payments are here as well. This is essentially the inbound cash flow. Don't have any more going in there, but that is going to change very, very soon. Also, I set up I know I said this last clip, but I have also set up my banking. I have my business account with my bank, so that's really cool. That's moving forward. So let's see if I've got anything else here. All right, on the social media side of things, we have got Instagram. I have been making regular posts for the past 2-ish weeks or so. I have missed a few days, but it's not gone without its benefits. I have been connecting with a few people. Everybody that is here, I have been talking to. No sealed deals yet, but I do see some potential partnerships going in the future where people send, maybe leads my way, and I might get a little bit of a kickback if they get closed. So that's great. TikTok, I'm still working on. I haven't updated much, but essentially what my long-term plan for TikTok is to create videos that will be like a funnel to my main accounts. LinkedIn, I'm going back and forth on. I haven't really made much progress yet. It's good to have a business account on here, but I don't know. I'm still in between if LinkedIn is going to be worth my time. Oh, let's also hit Facebook. Hold on. Facebook, I have my Facebook business account. This is going to be kind of like my main hub once I have it built out right next to my website, which I don't have. We're not even talking about my website. That's a dying battle right now. I'm set up soon, but not right now. Anyways, so this is just it. Yeah, that's kind of what that is. For school, for AI Foundations, I currently pay $50 a month, $49 a month for this one. But once I hit level 8, it unlocks lifetime membership for free. So I'm still working towards that goal. Hopefully within the next month or two, I might be able to score that. I can knock down an additional $50 off my expenditures. So that would be really cool. And here is just the website. I mentioned it, so I feel obligated to bring it up. It needs a lot of work. This is homepage. Honestly, this is all crap right over here to the right side. But if you click on read more, this is what I want the main homepage to be. When somebody opens it up, types it in, I want it to bring them to this. Needs a lot of modifications. I'm going to change the video up to be updated every once in a while, maybe monthly. There's that. Let's go check out Upwork. All right, Upwork's not wanting to load, but I'm not going to sit here and wait for it to load all day. If it pops up while I'm doing this clip right here, then that's great. If not, then I'll just explain it here. Basically, I've got my Upwork profile built out. It looks solid. I'm waiting to add case studies, which is what these current clients are for, get some testimonials, then start going on to Upwork to start actually applying. It requires money to apply, and since I'm short on money, I don't have the money to invest in it yet. But as soon as I start making a little bit of money from clients, I'm going to reinvest it and put some into Upwork so I can start applying to applications, get an Upwork account so that I can see the bids and track all that stuff. And yeah, that's pretty much where we're at. Okay, we are at the end of the days. I can't even begin to thank you guys for watching this. If I had to bet anything, I'm go back and look at the analytics a month from now, and not a single one of you, maybe one, will watch it all the way through. But that is okay. This is meant for people to watch the journey, see what applies to them, apply it to their own life, and decide what can work for them. Because the realistic fact of the matter, like I said in the intro clip here, is you're going to see videos all over YouTube, and most of them are going to try to tell you what you need to do to start a business. I'm not going to do that. I'm going to show you what worked for me, and I'm going to show you what it looks like to encounter issues that you're going to be like, damn, I really didn't need to do that. Why did I do that? And then you're going to just have to be okay with letting it go and moving on and going to the next step. That's what this journey of entrepreneurship is. And it's going to be like that for the remainder of the time. I've accepted that. And the sooner you accept that, the better off you're going to be. Thank you very much for watching this. If you made it all the way to the end of this, go back if you're interested in watching my past clips, look at them. This should be the best one I've ever made though, hopefully. I've got an editor on the back end trying to get out some of my ums. I've made a lot of ums throughout this. You guys probably won't see very many, but there was a lot. So yeah, I'm going to cut this off here. Thank you so much again for watching. Please, if you want to support my journey, like and subscribe. I'm trying to get to where I can make a little bit off YouTube as well to help fund some other things. I told my editor if he keeps editing videos and they start blowing up, I'm going to give him a kickback his way as well. So by helping me, you're helping out another entrepreneur as well. So share the love, help us out. Subscribe and turn the notifications off if you don't want to see it pop up every time. But at the end of the day, if you have questions, drop them I will be monitoring those. I will respond to them directly myself. You don't have to worry about having an AI bot hooked up to it or anything. You have my word on that. Although AI is fantastic, I'm starting to learn that AI should not be used for content creation. That's my personal belief. If you believe otherwise, then that's perfectly too. But I'm gonna end it here. Thanks again so much for watching. Like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys again next week.